Okay, so in this video, we're going to take a peek at the Dynamo graph that we created for duplicating a schedule and then changing its filters and then also getting it placed on sheets based on the original source material. In this particular case, we have a schedule that is a Revit floor schedule, and this is being used by this particular client as a way to track the gross area, but also the unit counts, because this additional floor object is embedded inside all of the unit groups, in addition to all of the actual modeled floors that we care about. Now in this case, you'll see all of the different unit plans for the different unit types that exist in the template, but of course if we go up to schedules, there is only one unit type schedule that exists. You'll also note, if we look at this schedule, that what it's looking for is a parameter called unit type that's equal to S1. So if we want to create a schedule for each of these different unit types, we're also going to need to change the filter on this schedule. So if we go back to that sheet and we open up our Dynamo graph, and we'll open up the graph that we created for this particular task, and we'll talk through what this graph is doing in the file. To start, there's a whole section up above where we were originally starting with all of the schedules and then filtering down to the particular schedule we wanted to copy, but we ended up simplifying that into just a schedule selector, which we have over here. Next, what we're doing is we want to find all of the different units that are in the template. So we're saying gather all of the scope boxes and search for the word unit in the name of the scope box. There is also an overall unit cloud scope box, so we're filtering that out right here. While we're doing that, we're also getting all of the sheets that the units have drawings for. So we're looking for the word unit in the name of the sheet, and we're filtering those down as well. Because there are two sets of unit sheets, the presentations and the documentation, we're looking for a dash in the sheet number, and then we're removing all of the presentation sheets. Then what we're doing is we are taking the name of the scope boxes and we're replacing the word unit with the word unit type. This is just something that we're doing so that when we go searching or when we go to create the new schedules, we can name them as unit type instead of just the word unit. Down here, what we're also doing is, since we now have all of the sheets that are unit sheets and we have their sheet numbers, we're creating a dictionary, and the dictionary is going to basically be set up as the names of the sheets followed by the sheets themselves. We're doing this because in all of our templates, the sheets weren't created in sequential order, so it's something that we're going to need to keep track of. Then what we're doing is we're getting rid of the first unit sheet because that one already has the schedule created and placed on the sheet. Now once we get to here, what happens is we're taking our unit type S1 schedule and we are going to cycle it the number of times that we have for additional units, and we're going to simply duplicate the view. I tend to use cycle a lot of the times because I'm never sure if nodes are going to work properly when they're fed a single item. Sometimes they don't. So then what we're also going to do is we have the sheet that has the first schedule on it, and we're going to look at what schedules are on the sheet, and we're going to get the location of that schedule on sheet. It is a bit weird, by the way, because when you go through sheet schedules, you get schedule on sheet, which is a bit different than going through schedule, where you're actually creating a schedule instead of the schedule on sheet. Here we've duplicated the schedule, and basically this will duplicate it approximately 80 times. And you'll see here that we'll get the name from the area where we did the string replace earlier in the graph, so it's going to name all of those schedules. Then what we're doing is we now have to take the schedule and we either need to modify or just replace the filter. So what we're doing here is we're just saying clear all of the filters from the schedule, and then we're saying we need to select the appropriate field from the schedule, which we just harvested from the other schedule itself. And then we're using create a schedule filter by field type and value. And here you'll see that we're going to feed that field into that node, as well as the equals for the filter type. And then we're going to get the value by doing a string replace. And this is on the unit type text that we made earlier. So if we simply take out the word unit type with the space at the end, what we'll end up with is just the name of the unit that we want in the filter. And so that's going to get added to all of the new schedules, and then it's just going to be a matter of placing the schedules on the sheet by giving it the sheet which we have from our earlier search, and the schedules that we just created, and the location for the schedules which we've grabbed from the earlier sheet that we selected as the prototype. If we click Run, after the graph is run, you'll see that now we have a schedule for every unit type that is in the template. In addition, if we go down to the unit sheets, you'll also see that the schedules have now been dropped in the project on the sheets. One strange little hiccup related to using Dynamo for this task is that we have to place a model group that basically has one of each of the different floors in it before Dynamo will let us perform this task. For some odd reason, Dynamo does not like dragging an empty schedule onto a sheet, at least using the node that we used to do so, which was schedule on sheet by sheet schedule location. So if you're going to use this node, you'll need to have instances of objects, at least one, sitting in every schedule, but then you can just delete those objects when you're done.